Good morning, everyone. My name is Joel Julian, and I'm going to be moderator for us today. And we're doing something special. We're going to one of the places that I believe is one of the most beautiful places in this world. And I'm not just saying that because we have our friends from Turkey here, but I really believe in exotic of Turkey. Is one of the things that we can all agree upon. So let's begin today. And I want to start with a Turkish proverb, and it says, "Not knowing is not shameful, but not asking is." And honestly, I believe that encompasses what we are trying to do here today. This session is an information session for us to learn more about Turkey and the opportunities, the business opportunities that you can achieve with Turkey and that create that partnership between Turkey and Trinidad and Tobago. So not knowing, if you didn't know before 10 o'clock this morning, that is not shameful. But our plan and our procedure for today is to learn. And that's exactly what we intend to do over the next 2 hours. And I'm going to go through the agenda now. And before I go through the agenda, one of the things that I did, I just tell you all a little bit about myself. As I said, I'm Joel Julian. I studied linguistics. So, language is something that I find very interesting. And one of the things I find interesting, if you look at the names of our guests today, you know, the accents, the use of the letters and so on, is very beautiful to see. And I guess that encompasses what Turkey is about, that beauty. Right? So we're going to start off today with our host, the Trans Tobago Coalition Services Industry. And none other than the president, Mr. Mark Edgell, will be speaking to us. Mark will be beginning the opening remarks. And it is always this is our third, no, sorry, our second visit across doing business across the World Series. And Mark always gives us that, puts things into perspective and lays the foundation first. So we're going to start the ball rolling with Mr. Mark Edgell. Then we go to none other than, if you're in Trinidad and Tobago and you are around the diplomatic corps, you are familiar with Her Excellency Bengu Yit Gudan. As ambassador, it's really nice to have you here today
Thank
and
you.
being able to see you, seeing the background with your books laid out. And one of the most famous things I think we can all agree about with Turkey is that flag. That flag stands out amidst the flags of all these countries, the crescent moon and the star. After that, we go to Mr. Ayhan Uzturk, who is the commercial counsel in Havana. Mr. Uzturk, thank you very much for joining us today, and I really look forward to your presentation. And it's good to have you here,
Thank
and
you
I
too.
hope, thank you very much. Right, and then we go on to none other than the chairman of the board of Danmas Energy and Investment in the energy sector. Trinidad and Tobago, we have our energy sector. And today we are greeted with Mr. Nusret Jumet. And Mr. Jumet, thank you very much for being here with us today and, being part of this conversation. And then also someone who has been with us from early this morning, and we have seen the conversation. I didn't understand most of the conversation because it was not in English, and I really hope to be able to learn Turkish one day. But we also have the pleasure of being um, with in our company today, Mr. Mustafa Najati Ishuk. Mr. Ishuk, thank you very much for joining us today, and I really look forward to what you bring to the table and our conversation. And that is more or less our plan for today. And before we move on, I just want to lay some ground rules, or because what happens is we have the question and answer segment that comes up later on, and just to put that into perspective and to put that conversation into perspective, I just want to say if you're interested in getting additional information or any contacts from Turkey, do it please note that your request must be made to the TTCSI, and the TTCSI team will contact you directly for the steps going forward. So as part of the Zoom answer area, you can utilize the question and answer. You can put your questions there if you want to reach out to Mr. Iztek or you want to find out a little more from Mr. Ishuk, or even if you want to touch base with Her Excellency, Mrs. Yitgudan, you can reach out there and say whatever questions you have. And the team at TTCSI, the CEO Vashti Gayadeen, and that her whole entire team will help connect you. And you may type your request and relevant contact information, email, whether it be your email contact or your phone number in the chat. And we also strongly advise you to use the TTCSI's National Services Export Portal. And that link will also be placed in the chat. So you can just look at the chat option and you can utilize the chat option. You can upload your company profile to the portal, and the portal will be used for matchmaking and to facilitate B2B meetings with regional and international companies from participating countries for the doing business with the World Series. So you want to get in contact with some companies, you want to make that link to companies in Turkey, that is the place to go. And I invite you to utilize the tool, and you can utilize the tool from this moment. You don't have to wait till after the session starts. All right, so let's start the ball rolling, and none other better person than our host from the TTCSI, President Mark Edgell. Mark, how are you this morning? Thank you for allowing us. And I'm seeing it's a packed room this morning, and I really appreciate you having us here this morning. What can you tell us?
Thanks so much, Julian. Her Excellency Bengü Yildirim, Ambassador of Turkey, distinguished ambassadors and embassies representatives, government officials, partnering associations, our featured speakers from Turkey, our sponsors, members of the board of directors of TTCSI, Ms. Vashti Gayadeen, the CEO of the TTCSI, member associations of the TTCSI, ladies and gentlemen. Günaydın. I hope I got that correct. Good morning, everyone. Today in our doing business with the World Series, we put the spotlight on Turkey. And just for reference, please note that the pronunciation of Turkey has been amended to Türkiye. So we're going to do our best to pronounce it correctly and use that going forward. Our special thanks to Her Excellency Bengü Yildirim, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, and her team at the Embassy of the Republic of Turkey, who worked alongside the team TTCSI to make today's webinar possible. This week, we will attempt to provide service sector entrepreneurs in Turkey and their Trinidad and Tobago counterparts with the critical information they need to do business freely with each other across our borders, which would contribute greatly to both of our economies. Today, we will learn what steps to follow to successfully pursue opportunities in the areas of tourism and hotels, health, film and animation, logistics and transport, and energy. Although the Turkish embassy was established in Port of Spain in August 2018, the reality is Trinidad and Tobago and Turkey have had friendly relations for much longer than that. Indeed, diplomatic relations between both countries were officially established on May 22nd, 1972. So we have been friends and economic partners for some 50 years. With respect to trade data shows that 2019 bilateral trade between the two countries was at $120.8 billion US. In that year, Turkey's exports to TNT were valued at 68.4 million, while that country had imported some 52.4 million US dollars worth of goods and services from Trinidad and Tobago. So allow me to share some trade data with respect to us doing business with Turkey. During 2021, according to the United Nations Comtrade database on international trade, Trinidad and Tobago's imports from Turkey stood at 89.92 million US, and among the items imported were iron and steel at almost 62 million US dollars, with just under 4 million US dollars in electrical and electronic equipment, and $4.3 million in salt, sulfur, earth, stone, plaster, lime, and cement. Meanwhile, Comtrade notes that Trinidad and Tobago exports to Turkey as well, and those exports stood at 3.12 million US dollars. The bulk of items exported were from the petrochemical sector and include organic and inorganic chemicals, mineral fuels, oils, and distillation products, among others. Turkey exports to Trinidad and Tobago was $116.16 million during 2022, according to the United Nations Comtrade Database on International Trade. Iron and steel took the bulk of that figure at $79.5 million, while electrical and electronic equipment was $11.2 million, and plastics were $5.5 million. As you can discern from the figures I have shared with you, trade between our countries is beginning to pick up once more. Now that we are seeing now that we're seeing the light after the dark days of the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to past data, shows a focus on energy and manufacturing. Going into the future, we at TTCSI hope to see trade and services take their place right up there with those other sectors, which is why we're here today. Just as a matter of interest, as of 2023, Turkey's economy is the 19th largest in the world by nominal GDP. It is a $1 trillion economy. Turkey's service sector constituted 37.9% of total employment in 2021. Currently, its exports of goods and services as a percentage of GDP is at 28.6%, while its imports of goods and services as a percentage of GDP is 32.3%. The value of both these markets run into the trillions of US dollars. As I noted in previous editions of Doing Business with the World Series, we are laying the groundwork for accelerating the trade and services between both our countries so that small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, on both sides can connect, do business with each other, and eventually realize similar or even better trade figures, but in the services sector. Hence our focus today on tourism and hotels, health, film and animation, and logistics and transport and energy, and the opportunities present in our respective market, the opportunities they present in our respective markets. So to touch on logistics and transport, Turkey's transportation and logistics sector is among that country's fastest growing industries. In addition to being a major transit hub, Turkey is also a key freight destination. The country is moving aggressively to improve its national transportation network as part of its efforts to consolidate its trade position with the European Union, an entity with which Trinidad and Tobago has also had a long-established diplomatic and economic relations. Billions of investment dollars are being poured into highway, railway, and other transportation-related projects designed to modernize Turkey's transportation networks. Two major multi-billion-dollar projects, the Grand Istanbul Tunnel and the Canal Istanbul, have expected completion dates in 2027. Canal Istanbul alone is forecast to radically expand Turkey's position as a key freight destination. These are just the beginning, as over the next 30 years, Turkey's plans to increase the number of ports, logistics centers, and marinas. Most importantly, there will be an emphasis on these projects being carried out in as an environmentally friendly manner as possible. With respect to film and animation, for many of us with a Netflix subscription, one of the pros of the pandemic lockdowns was they're providing us with opportunity to binge watch The Protector, which among other movie and television series come from Turkey. Apart from Turkey's national and worldwide success on both the big and little screen, that country's animated films also have begun to shatter the box office, at fact of the Turkey Ministry of Culture and Tourism is particularly proud. According to industry analytics, the Turkish film industry's current growth phase started in the mid-1990s, and the industry has grown at a fast phase since then between 2005 and 2015. Over 50,000 hours of Turkish TV programs were sold to broadcasters in over 80 countries around the world, with 2015 described as the most successful year for the Turkish film industry in terms of the number of locally produced releases and audience admissions. With the pandemic, while the pandemic had an impact and caused a bit of a slowdown of production activity, things are beginning to pick up in this post-pandemic era, and there are projections of even more Turkish movie releases to come on the international scene. In the area of tourism and hotels, according to statistics from Turkey's Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Turkey has become the third biggest tourism market in the world. The country welcomed more than 51.4 million tourists in 2022, which is 99% of 2019's pre-pandemic record figure of 51.8 million. According to the ministry's data, 44.6 million of those visitors were foreign tourists. According to analysts at Statista, revenue in the hotel segment is projected to reach $5.36 billion in 2023. Between this year and 2027, revenue is expected to show an annual growth rate for CAGR of 1%, resulting in a projected market volume of $5.58 billion by 2027. Several billion-dollar projects in the high-end hotels market, 4- and 5-star developments, are expected to capitalize on Turkey's recent surge in visitors. Tourist hub Istanbul alone has 10 such projects ongoing. New high-end developments in key tourist areas in Turkey are expected to come on stream annually up to the year 2027. The devastating earthquakes on the southern border with Syria earlier this year have meant that part of the country is still in major recovery mode, coming on the heels of almost 3 years of pandemic lockdowns and restrictions. However, the surge in visitors Turkey has seen as restrictions have relaxed is being viewed as a positive, which can provide much needed resources to help that part of the country recover and rebuild even faster. In the area of health, the healthcare system in Turkey has a highly complex structure, comprising both public and private health services, with the Ministry of Health, universities, and the private sector providing healthcare services. Turkey introduced universal healthcare in 2003, and due to major health reforms in the 2000s and 2010s, universal health insurance coverage for the population was achieved. In addition, there has been a great deal of investment in establishing medical schools and training medical specialists, all of which have led to tremendous improvement in the general quality of health services provided in the country. In fact, every year, thousands of patients from all over the world go to Turkey to receive quality medical services. According to a recent study published in The Lancet, Turkey's healthcare system is now ranked at 60th among 119 countries in the world. In the area of energy, in 2021, Turkey imported 93% of its oil and 99% of its gas from foreign countries. In order to reduce dependence on imported fossil fuels and enable sustainable economic growth, Turkey is undertaking projects to increase and diversify its energy production capability and capacity. Turkey is aiming to increase the use of domestic and renewable energy sources. This is critical as the country's economy and population continue to grow rapidly, and thus its energy consumption putting increasing pressure on existing energy resources. The Turkish government notes that Turkey ranks second to China in the increase in electricity and natural gas demand in the world. The Turkish energy sector has undergone rapid liberalization since the early 2000s. The World Bank notes that beginning in 2001, Turkey energy market reforms saw it move from a state-owned, vertically integrated model to one where electricity distribution has been privatized. The country also passed what the World Bank calls groundbreaking reforms for its electricity and natural gas markets, created renewable energy and energy efficient legislation, established new regulatory bodies, created a well-functioning electricity market, and carried out energy price reforms. Turkey's energy sector liberalization process is expected to continue over the next few years, especially as the country puts more and more emphasis on renewable energy resources to diversify its energy production capacity. Investment is expected to come from both domestic and foreign investors. To touch now on our national exporters portal, at this juncture, I must remind everyone present of TTCSI's National Services Exporters Portal, which we created to help TNT services sector firms be seen as and make connections with services sector firms in other countries. It is a critical pillar supporting our doing business with the World Series. TNT services sector SMEs, or small medium enterprises, if you have not done so already, please register on the portal. Do not let this golden opportunity pass you by. With the NSCP, you will be seen by and make connections with the regional and international services firms in those countries we are highlighting in this series. Make sure you grab and make as many of the opportunities work for you in trading services that can come from those connections. Remember, services sector SMEs, you're critical to the rebuilding and re-strengthening of our respective economies in a post-pandemic world. You are the ones who will provide employment opportunities and generate business activity to keep the engine of growth humming along at a steady pace. So if you are a services sector firm interested in entering regional and international markets, please come and join us and learn how to do that with our special webinar series, Doing Business with the World. Your Excellency and your team at the Embassy of the Republic of Turkey, our heartfelt thanks for all you have done to make today's webinar possible. We appreciate and cherish the friendships we have built with you during the preparation process. Ladies and gentlemen, now hand you back over to our moderator and to move forward with our doing business this morning with Turkey. Thank you. Joel, we're not hearing you.
Sorry about that, folks. You know, technology is getting the best of me this morning. Right, but thank you very much, Mark, for putting today's agenda into perspective, and really letting us know what the relationship in terms of Turkey and Trinidad and Tobago is with respect to export, import, and the plans going forward. So we heard about the tourism and hotels. We heard about energy. We heard about health. We heard about, you really laid the foundation first, Mark, and I really thank you for that. Now, we move from Mark. Mark has started the ball rolling, and our next speaker is one, if you have been around the diplomatic corps, you always see Her Excellency Ambassador Yegan. And Ambassador, thank you very much for being here with us. And I will tell you all a little bit about the Ambassador. The Ambassador would have presented the credentials in Trinidad and Tobago in 2020. And around that time, we were combating the pandemic. Globally, we would have all been combating the pandemic. And the Ambassador has been working steadfastly during that period. And the reason why is because this is not her first foray into diplomacy. Ambassador Yegan is experienced in diplomacy. She would have been posted in Cairo. She would have been posted in Germany. She would have been posted in Hungary, in Budapest. And it's our pleasure to have you here in Trinidad and Tobago, in Port of Spain, Ambassador. And I just want to put it over to you now to just put it into perspective first. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for being here.
Thank you very much. Good morning and good afternoon to our friends in Turkey. President of the Trinidad and Tobago Coalition of Service Industries, TTCSI, Mr. Mark Etchell, the CEO, Ms. Vashti Gayadin, the Director, Mr. Hayden Aleyne, the Manager, Ms. Diana Bisemar, and the technical experts who helped us prepare for this event. And also, of course, to Mr. Joel Julian. First of all, good morning. I would also like to greet all our speakers from Havana and from Türkiye. my colleagues from the embassies of China, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Peruvian Republic, attending honorary consuls, representatives of embassies, government officials, members of the TTCSI, business people, friends, all attendees, participants from Guyana and St. Lucia, and other countries of the region. Good morning. I would like to thank especially to the TTCSI for inviting Türkiye to the Doing Business with the World series. I was very excited about this initiative when Mr. Edgehill first approached me to tell about this program. I hope very much that this webinar brings business people from Turkey and from Trinidad and Tobago closer. I have also been asked to explain why we use the word Turkey instead of its English version, Turkey. Well, we decided to use the Turkish version throughout the world. So therefore, last year, 2022, we applied to the United Nations and declared that from now on, we are going to use Turkey as the name of our country, and we started to do it in this way. So now, if you can allow me, I would like to make a very short presentation about Turkey with the slides. So next one. Next one, please. Yes, our republic was established in 1923. So this year we are celebrating the 100th year. Next one. We have a rather large area. It's almost 800,000 square kilometers, and Ankara being the capital. Next one. Our population is 85 million. Our official language is Turkish, and we use the Turkish lira as our local currency. Next one. So this map shows the borders of land of Turkey. We have as neighbors Bulgaria, Greece, Georgia, Iran, Armenia, Nakhchivan, Syria, and Iraq. Next. In the north, we have the Black Sea. In the south, the Mediterranean. And in the west, the Aegean Sea. Next. And of course, we have also neighbors from the sea, Russian Federation, Ukraine, Romania, Moldova, Libya, Egypt, Israel, and Lebanon. Next. And we have a very young population. I mentioned we have 85 million people, and about the half of it is under the age of 30. Next. Turkey is a member of the G20 and OECD and other fora, and has a liberal economic model. Next. Yes, export goods, the list of exports has been changing in recent years. So now it's passenger and transport vehicles on top, vehicle parts, devices used by jewelers, oils derived from minerals and oil, steel, iron, steel rods, pipes, cotton clothing, carpets, cables, wires, woven clothing, freezers, cooling units, furniture, and plastic goods. And the list, of course, continues. Next. We are also exporters of food. In 2020, hazelnuts, flour, pasta, vegetable oil constituted almost 20% of our total exports. Next. Main trade partners are for our exports Germany, United Kingdom, Iraq, and Italy. And in imports, it's China, Germany, Russia, and the United States. Next one. And I also would like to say a few words about the share of services in the GDP. In 2018, it was around 64%, and it's increasing, of course. I'm sure there are higher numbers now. And we have a very well developed service sector, but we will limit ourselves to only some of those. Next. So a short information about the service sector. In 2022, we exported worth 90.3 billion USD in services. And the travel industry was the first, the best among these, with 41.2 billion US dollars. And this constituted 43.4% of total service exports. This sector was followed by logistics and transport. And we also imported services. In 2022, the value reached 40.4 billion USD in service imports. Next. So to Trinidad and Tobago, President Mr. Echil also informed about this. Our relations date back to 1972, and last year we celebrated the 50th year. Next. But there are no agreements yet related to economy or trade. The only agreement we have is about visas. This is also very helpful. So citizens of both countries can go to each other's country without a visa and stay up to 90 days. Next. So trade, again, Mr. Ercil mentioned, figures remain very low. So I have some numbers from 2019. Of course, when we buy more LNG from Trinidad and Tobago, these figures go up, but it's not constant. And I must say that also the trade figures with other countries of CARICOM, which are in my accredited to me, the trade figures are even lower, and we should do something to increase it. Next. Here I have some contacts that might be useful. So maybe TTCSI could share these addresses with people who are interested. So next. Yes, I thank you for your attention. So later I will speak again, but for now, I will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. That was really insightful. And one of the things that stood out for me is, you mentioned the 90 days, you're allowed to be in Turkey for 90 days. I think there are 3 months off from work and see if I can visit your beautiful country. Right. So next on the agenda, we have, after hearing from Mark, after hearing from Her Excellency, we go now to Mr. Ayhan Öztürk. I know Mr. Öztürk is the commercial counselor of the Turkish Embassy in Havana. I would have mentioned earlier, that I studied linguistics, and I love language, but that is pales in comparison to what Mr. Öztürk. Mr. Öztürk obviously speaks English, speaks French, speaks, and Mr. Öztürk, in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a nice Olympic-sized tennis court. I understand that tennis is one of your hobbies. So if you want to come across to Trinidad to play some tennis, we could also. Unfortunately, I know snowboarding is also one of your hobbies. We don't have that facility as yet, but I'm sure you'll find your snowboarding in Istanbul, and where beautiful winters experienced there. So I want to open the floor to you now, Mr. Öztürk, to give us your contribution.
Hello, Joel. You honored me, really, but I should clarify something. I can speak fluently in English, but not French and Spanish. I am still in the learning process. I'm improving myself. And about tennis, yes, I can play, but still in the learning process. And then in the future, I hope I will be better. Let me start to thank everyone to join this webinar. I hope it will contribute a lot between bilateral economic relation between Turkey and Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to thank you, His Excellency ambassadors, honorary consuls, representatives of embassies, and government officials, and all participants for coming here today. You give me the background about me, and then I want to contribute about it. My name is Ayhan Öztürk. Work in the Turkish embassy in Havana as a commercial consular. Starting the mission in 2022 and continue from that date, and accredited almost all Caribbean countries from Trinidad to Bahamas. Yes, I wanna little bit mention about Mark. Mark, you gave almost all information about Turkey, and then you really made my job really difficult. So I should, in my presentation, make a little bit different from you, because you mentioned almost everything from all the sectors, all the geopolitical importance. Yes, now I will a little bit switch my presentation. Anyway, can we start presentation, Joel? First page, please. As you know, Turkey's economy has performed remarkably well with its steady growth over the past 20 years. A solid macroeconomic strategy, prudent fiscal policy, and major structural reform have all contributed the integration of Turkey economy into the globalized worldwide, also transforming the country into one major recipient of foreign direct investment. These reforms have increased the role of the private sector in Turkey's economy, enhanced the efficiency and resiliency of the financial sector, and placed public finance on more solid foundation. The reform also strengthened the macroeconomic fundamentals of the country, allowing the economy to grow the annual real GDP. Moreover, Turkey market fundamentals, such as young and dynamic population with an average age of 32, a well-educated workforce, increasing rate of employment over the years, a growing middle class, and a unique geographical location have all helped transform Turkey into one of the fastest growing and outstanding economy in the world. Turkey has all required means of the access a giant market to 1.3 billion people and a trade volume of $26 billion within 4-hour flight radius. In addition to these trade advantages, Turkey is among the most reliable routes of transporting energy source and east-west access. Next page, please. In this context, I want to a little bit talk about some main economic indicators of Turkish economy. Next slide, please. As you see in the chart, from 2000 and 2022, Turkey shows really steady growth in every aspect of all the macroeconomic indicators. Let me look at some of them. In the chart, you can find the main economic indicators. For example, Turkey has performed stellar growth in 2021 and posted the highest GDP growth in the G20, OECD, and EU. GDP per capita increased from $3,000 in 2022 to $10,000 in 2022. Turkish economy expanded by 5.6% in 2022. During 2003-2022 period, average annual growth rate in Turkey realized as 5.4%, and it's highly remarkable number. On the other side, in January 2023, unemployment rate was 9.7%. In 2022, the number of employed people increased by 2 million compared to previous year and become 30 million. And the employment rate increased by 2.3 percentage points to 47.5%. In February 23, central government budget revenue was 218.8 billion Turkish lira. Central government budget expenditure was 389 billion Turkish lira, and the central government budget deficit was 170 billion Turkish lira. Central government budget balance GDP ratio in Turkey was 2.7 in 2021. In January 2023, the current account deficit increased by 33% compared to January of the previous year and was realized as $9.85 billion. Overall, the main macroeconomic indicators of the last 20 years clearly show how resilient the Turkish economy is. Next. So I want to a little bit talk about why invest in Turkey, and then to emphasize again, Turkey has marked a remarkable rate of growth after 1980s. It's known that it has been attributed to three factors, namely a shift from agriculture towards the industry and service activities, the modernization of existing industry and technology transfer, and the effect of international trade and competition. Significant improvement in such a short period of time have registered Turkey on the world economic scale as an exceptional emerging economy. Thus, in institutionalized economy fueled by $200 billion of foreign direct investment last 20 years. 11th large economy in the world, and then 5th large economy compared to with European Union countries in 2021. Robust economic growth with an average annual real GDP growth 5.4% during 2002 and 2022. GDP reached $900 billion in 2022 from $226 billion in 2002. The liberalization of capital movement and then willingness of foreign creditors to lend the Turkish investor contribute to high growth rate of private investment. Next. Now, I will mention about the question of why invest in Turkey by explaining 10 reasons. I can list the reason as you see in the page: robust economy, domestic accessible market, strategic location, favorable demographics, skilled and competitive labor force, continuous reform process, business friendliness, lucrative incentive, benign R&D ecosystem, sectoral opportunities. Let's look at them in little bit detail. Next, please. Robust economy. The development in economic activity has a positive impact in all domains of the Turkish economy since 2003. As you see, the Turkish economy posted record growth and climbed from 18th place to 11th place globally from 2003 to 2021. Turkey has outpaced its peer economies, and growth momentum is set to continue in the coming years. Next, please. Moreover, economic resiliency has been further supported by successful management of public finance and corporate finance, as well as low household debt. Adhering to prudent fiscal discipline, Turkey drastically diminished the public debt stock from above 70% in 2002 down to around 38% in 2021. The positive effect of the fiscal discipline has been reflected as a noticeably diminished deficit in Turkey's budget balance during the past 20 years. Next, please. Also, over the past 20 years, Turkey has put in a noteworthy performance by increasing the size of its overall economy from $200 billion to $900 billion in 2002. Turkey's economic growth over the past 20 years has been driven by a robust domestic market and an entrepreneurial private sector that combined have support investment and export. Turkey successfully generated approximately 28.8 million new jobs during the 2021 period, with 1.3% average annual growth in exports. Turkey has outpaced the world performance and increased its export volume from 36 billion to $254 billion over the past 20 years. In line with this remarkable performance, Turkey's share in global export has increased from less than 0.6% in 2002 to around 1% in 2021. It should also be noted that Turkey's remarkable export volume has been driven by significant export diversification in terms of both export destination and the products. Next, please. Let's look at a little bit detail about the domestic market. In this chapter, it's useful to emphasize the middle class with the increasing purchasing power. Turkey's outstanding economic development performance has caused per capita income to rise from $300 to $10,000. In other words, purchasing power parity terms, GDP per capita exceeded $34,000 in 2021. In 2021, according to purchasing power parity GDP figures, Turkey ranked as the 11th largest economy in the world and the 5th in the Europe. Turkey's economic growth has paved the way for emergence of sizable middle class with the increasing purchasing power. Next, please. Besides, more than 24 urban centers, each with the population of 1 million, support Turkish thriving domestic market through their production of the goods and services. The emergence of sizable middle class with increasing purchasing power and income per capita has entrenched Turkish strong domestic market. In terms of population, Istanbul is the largest city in Europe. Next, please. In addition, with the 85 million dynamic population, Turkey has 9.6 million broadband internet subscribers, 9.3 million mobile phone subscribers, 209 million airline passengers in 2009, and 51.4 million international tourist arrivals in 2022. Next, please. In the terms of strategy location, I want to share that Turkey is geographically and logistically well connected to the world, and around 40% of global trade occurs within the 4-hour direct flight radius of Turkey. Turkey has a global market access to the nexus of Europe, Asia, and Africa, thus creating an efficient and cost-effective hub to major markets. Turkey offers easy access to 1.3 billion people and combined market worth to $28 trillion GDP in Europe, Middle East, and North Africa and Central Asia. Turkey's strategic location enables easy reach to market across 16 different time zones, from Tokyo to New York. Turkish Airlines connects 342 destinations in 2021. Excuse me. multinationals are increasingly choosing Turkey as a preferred hub for manufacturing, export, as well as management. Next, please. Moreover, the truth is that investing in transportation has remarkably transformed Turkey's infrastructure landscape. Yet Turkey is determined to further improve it. Strategic location and enhanced production capabilities attract multinationals seeking to invest and export from Turkey. Turkey offers lucrative export opportunities for companies looking to increase their commitments in the region. Also, Turkish top exporting sector are automotive, basic metals, apparel, food products, textile, and electrical equipments. At the same time, top countries Turkish export are Germany, United Kingdom, USA, Iraq, Italy, and France. Next, please. Let's talk a little bit about the demographic. Yes, we have interesting figures about demographic also. The young and the well-educated population of Turkey is a great asset for investors facing considerable challenges elsewhere in Europe with the aging and shrinking population. Turkey offers excellent opportunities with its strong labor force pool and growing young and dynamic population, which is the driving force behind a lucrative domestic market. Turkey's population was registered as 85 million in 2023, and it is expected to reach 100 million by 2040. The population is projected to maintain its growth momentum until 2069, when it will peak at 107 million. Turkey, with half of its population under age of 33, has the largest youth population among the EU countries. Over the past decades, Turkey's age dependency ratio has maintained its downward rate, allowing more flexible in the government expenditure on healthcare, social security, and education. Next, please. Skilled and competitive labor force, as we mentioned about the demographics, yes, it's producing that result. Turkey's overall labor force is around 33.3 million people, which makes the country the third largest labor force in Europe. Turkey's young population is an important contributor to labor force growth and has boosted the country's rank over peer countries. Turkey has posted the largest labor force growth among the European Union countries. Upgraded education system enable a skilled labor pool and addresses business requirements. A rapid expansion in the number of universities has allowed Turkey to have more universities graduates, enabling Turkey to transform its young population and large labor force into a skilled workforce. More than 8 million students are enrolled in higher education currently. Over 900,000 graduates annually. Also, there is world-class engineering education in Turkey. Next, please. Yes, over last 20 years is the story to process to reform all the regulations, law structure in Turkey. In this slide, you can see from 2001 and then 2022 the all steps. Turkey attributes great importance to foreign investment and aims to improve its foreign investment climate while defining foreign investment, investor, and related terms in line with international standards. Turkey has always prioritized reforms for qualified workforce, innovative production, sustainable growth, a sustainable environment, and international cooperation for development. A comprehensive reform process was initiated back in early 2000s, and it's continuing even today. And also investment are under constitutional protection in Turkey. The foreign direct investment law in Turkey provides equal treatment for all investors and grants international arbitration. Bilateral treaties are considered highly important as they aim to promote and enrich the investment environment, leading to stronger economic cooperation between the contracting states. Turkey has been active in concluding bilateral treaties for the promotion and protection of investments since its bilateral investment treaty was signed with Germany in 1962. Today, bilateral investment promotion and protection treaties signed with more than 86 countries involved. Next, please. In 2002, average number of days for setting up company was 38, while today it has been reduced 7 days in line with the reform process. Thanks to the extensive reforms made over the past 20 years, today Turkey is well below the OECD average in terms of the number of the restrictions imposed on foreign investors. As a result of the recent improvements in business regulations, Turkey has achieved a remarkable increase in the World Bank's ease of doing business ranking, jumping to 33rd place among the 190 benchmark countries. Next, please. Yes, let's look at what about the business-friendly environment in Turkey. Turkey's investment legislation is simple and complies with the international standards while offering equal treatments for all investors. The fundamental parts of the overall investment legislation include the encouragement of investment and employment law, foreign direct investment law, the regulation on the implementation of the foreign direct investment law, multilateral and bilateral investment treaties, and various law and related sub-regulation on the promotion of the sectoral investment. The aim of the foreign direct investment law is as follows: to encourage foreign direct investment in the country, to protect rights of investors, to align the definitions of investor and investment within international standards, to increase the volume of the foreign direct investment through streamlined policies and procedures. In addition, it explains important principles of the foreign direct investment, such as freedom to invest, national treatment, expropriation and nationalization, freedom of transfer, national and international arbitration, and alternative dispute settlement methods, valuation of non-cash capital, employment of foreign personnel, and liaison offices. Bilateral agreements for promotion and protection of investments have been signed from 1962 onwards with the countries that show the potential to improve bilateral investment relations. Next, please. In the means of lucrative incentive, I want to mention that applicable both for greenfield and brownfield project, Turkey offers a comprehensive investment incentive program with a wide range of the instruments that helps to minimize the upfront cost burden and accelerate the returns of investment. This incentive may also be tailored to projects in priority sectors classified as key areas for the transfer of technology and economic development. The incentive system aiming to increase production of intermediate goods, reduce import dependency, reduce trade deficit, support medium, high, and high-tech investment, support less developed regions, reduce differentiation in regional development, and support clusters. In addition, Turkey provides generous support programs of R&D and innovation projects, employee training initiative for the exporters through various grants, incentives, and loans. Next, please. Benign R&D ecosystem. The Turkish government has set the target of increasing the share of the R&D investment within the overall public budget to 2%. As of 2020, this figure has already increased above the 1%, with the expectation to reach 2% over the next several years. Extensive R&D incentives in Turkey are further supported by well-educated and highly qualified labor force. Companies with the R&D activities in Turkey have the opportunity to benefit from the a wide range of incentive and supports provided within the scope of R&D legislation and cash support programs. Thus, investors can choose the most appropriate support incentive mechanism in order to reduce their cost of R&D and innovation activities. Technology development zones are areas designed to support R&D activities and attract investment in high technology fields. Under the Turkish law, intellectual properties such as trademarks, patent, utility models, designs, and geographical indication are offered protection upon the registration with the Turkish Patent and Trademark Institution. Next, please. In the last, I wanna little bit mention about. I will not go to detail, but a little bit mention about the sectoral spectrum. We have a really diverse and then rich sectoral opportunity in Turkey, as you see in the slide, from automotive to infrastructure, agro-food, energy, aerospace and defense, machinery, electric equipment. Let me a little bit talk about them. Turkey has a significant investment need in infrastructure development, and from the transportation to healthcare and energy, ample opportunities are available. Turkey offers abundant opportunities in a wide variety of sectors where it has a competitive edge. Turkey's diversified economy, entrepreneurial business culture, and young and tech-savvy population have been attracting significant investment from global players into Turkish startups, which have proven that their products and services are globally competitive. For example, with favorable geographical conditions and climate, large arable lands, and well-developed agricultural industry, Turkey is considered to be one of the leading countries in the world and the field of the agriculture and food. Besides, with the history of the more than 50 years, Turkish automotive industry is now home to 14 OEMs with a total product portfolio covering passenger cars, light commercial vehicles, as well as heavy-duty vehicles. Turkey is a strong production and an engineering hub for the global automotive value chain. Moreover, Turkey is an attractive investment location for chemical companies with a robust market growth, fueled by end-user markets, while offering competitive production costs. Also, Turkey's decisive policies have yielded significant results in transforming the defense industry. Growing and diversifying exports have explored new opportunities in US, United Nations, European Union, Middle East, Africa, Central Asia, and South America. Last but not least, producing intermediate goods and providing inputs to key sectors such as chemical, construction, automotive, energy, textile, agriculture, and mining, machinery manufacturing plays a crucial role in the development of Turkey. Thank you for listening to me. I know it was a little bit long, but there are a lot of things to talk, but I try to really squeeze and then combine the thing Mark and Ambassador talk. I hope it will contribute and then give us a view about Turkey. Thank you again.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Istik. You know, speaking for me personally, I think you give us a lot of in-depth information that helps us with our conversation today. And so I thank you for taking the time out for that very in-depth and very necessary presentation that you gave us today. Right. So because of technology, we are able to connect today, because of the Zoom platform, we're able to connect with Mr. Istek, who is in Cuba. We're able to connect, so one of our speakers now will be connecting technology. We have a presentation by Mr. Najred Jimet. And Mr. Jimet, if I go through his full bio, we might spend the next hour here, so I just want to condense it a little bit. Mr. Jimet is basically the chairman of the board and the principal shareholder of Damnas Energy and Investments. And, he has been, in terms of Turkey's natural gas sector's liberalization process. He's one of the people who would have spearheaded that conversation. He's a senior advanced leadership fellow at Harvard University, and he has done several presentations, at World Economic Forum, at Halifax Security Forum. So it's really our pleasure and my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jermet in terms of his video presentation that we will now be hearing. Okay, so it seems that we have a little technical issues at this juncture. We're just going to sort it out, but it's bear with us. Mr. Jermet, we're going to start over his presentation. We can get back to the beginning and, so that we can hear exactly what it is he is saying.
Joel,
but I wanted, yeah.
Joel, just a note, when sharing a video, there's a box that you need to check at the bottom when you're sharing the screen to allow the audio to come through the video.
Yeah, I think Mark Taylor is handling that, so I'm sure that he will. Thank you very much, Mark Edgel, that is. So let's hope that we can hear what Mr. Jermet is saying. But I really want to thank. I think we have laid a perfect foundation so far, and let's say what Mr. Jermet is saying at this point.
Excellencies, distinguished members of ministries, diplomatic corps, business communities, both in Trinidad and Tobago and in Turkey. Good morning and good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank Her Excellency Ambassador Bengi Witkidem and business communities in both countries for putting this important conference together. My name is Nusret Cömert. I am the Honorary Consul of Trinidad and Tobago in Turkey. I have been in this position for nearly 10 years. And my appointment followed appointment of Turkish ambassador in Trinidad and Tobago, which was a very important milestone in bilateral relations between Trinidad and Tobago and Türkiye. I have been keeping busy with consular matters as well as supporting business communities in both countries for increasing the trade volume and economic cooperation. Turkey has been buying LNG from Trinidad, and Trinidad has been buying some goods from Turkey for the moment. So I'm also the chairman of Damnus Energy and Investment. So within this context, I'm going to give you some opinions about energy. So World Energy Challenge has been keeping busy the world leaders for decades. In one hand, wealth is needed, economic growth is needed. On the other hand, environment needs to be protected, climate change is a fact, and carbon emission needs to be reduced. So that caused a need for tackling World Energy Challenge. Also, within that context, several years ago, a couple of years ago, during a World Economic Forum in Davos, just before pandemic, I was also a participant and a speaker. ESG has been launched, issues, environment, social, and corporate governance targets. So the way forward has been defined for ESG, setting ESG targets and measuring ESG targets in the same criteria. Also, the countries started to act for climate change more effectively than the past. Last year, the world had its hottest summer ever. And concern about water is also a growing concern. Within that context, energy transition has been worked all over the world in international energy companies, in international oil companies actually, and the governments. A move to renewable energy, particularly in solar and wind, has been accelerated. However, there will be a need for transition fuel for industry, for power, and for household, and this is natural gas. And we all know that Trinidad is blessed with oil and gas. Before shale gas revolution, Trinidad was supplying more than half of South Coast LNG of US, as we know. And with shale gas, where United States of America started to be an exporter rather than importer, Trinidad has been supplying to some other parts of the world, including in Turkey, some spot LNG cargoes. So having said that, I think energy is being a major industry, an opportunity for business people, both from Trinidad and Tobago and Turkey, to cooperate as an investor, as a developer, as an equipment supplier, as an investor in equipment as well. And in Trinidad, the banking system is very well developed and very international, so that can also help in raising capital for energy investments in Turkey, in Trinidad and Tobago, and in other countries, maybe in cooperation. So this is what I would like to outline as a start, and please, you know where to find me as the Honorary Consul of Trinidad and Tobago. My contact details in the website of Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, and I am at the service of both nationals of Trinidad and Tobago, the business people of Trinidad and Tobago, and also anything I can do to develop cultural development, cultural cooperation between two countries. So I welcome any kind of ideas, sponsorships for me to arrange a cultural event of Trinidad and Tobago here in Turkey. Thank you very much.
All right, so that is the video presentation that we just got from Mr. Jimet. And, you know, I think that he also outlined and added to the foundation that we have built so far in terms of the trade prospects between Trinidad and Tobago and Turkey. Right, so before we get into these separate presentations now, I just want to remind you all, if you're interested in getting additional information or any contacts from Turkey during or after today's session, please note that your request must be made to the TTCSI, and the TTCSI team will contact you directly on the steps going forward. Right, so you would see the question and answer section of the platform, the Zoom platform. You may type a request and relevant contact information there, whether that be your email address or your phone number. And we also strongly advise you to sign up for TTCSI's National Services Exporters Portal. And, you know, the link will also be placed in the chat, so you can look out for that link. And in that link, you can upload your company profile on the portal, and the portal will also be used for matchmaking. This is business matchmaking we're speaking about, to facilitate B2B meetings with regional and international companies from participating countries for the Doing Business with the World Series. So if you're interested, utilize the portal, put your company's profile in the portal, and the team at TTCSI, headed by CEO Vashti Gayadeen, will help you with that link and help you be able to partner. Right. So now our first presentation is by none other than Mustafa Nijati Ishuk. And Mr. Ishuk, you know, he has been with us since this morning, and I really appreciate him being here and being part of being part of this group, a full team, a full house we have today in terms of the Zoom platform. And you know, Mr. Ishuk is the chairman of the LAC Business Council, which is the Foreign Economic Relations Board of Turkey. He's also the chairman of Vera Logistics. Mr. Ishuk, thank you for joining us today, and welcome you to now do your presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Julian, for giving word to us. I would like to thank you, first of all, Mr. Mark Edhill, the president of the TTCSI, and also other participants, also from TTCSI, and other ambassadors, government officials, and our Turkish honorary ambassador, Mrs. Bengü, and our trade counselor, Mr. Ayhan. I would like to tell about what is DEİK and what DEİK does in Turkey. Actually, the DEİK is the Foreign Economic Relations Board. DEİK have been continuously working to strengthen the dynamics of Turkey's economy and to carry its potential to the world with our founding institutions, members, and business councils. DEİK has 150 business councils. I am the chairman of the Central America and Caribbean's Business Council, including the Trinidad and Tobago also. DEİK sees itself as more than an organization of business people, because DEİK is Turkey's window to the world, actually. As DEİK, we try to help companies deepen their market presence and to access new markets, and formulate and implement strategies and policies on foreign economic relations. And DEİK carries out activities designed to attract direct foreign investments to Turkey. And also, we try to broaden the national, regional, and global networks to private sector relies on in its activities. And also, we carry out activities that support the country's diplomacy and contribute to the development of bilateral and multilateral social relationships. And also, we represent Turkish business community in international and multinational organizations. We organize international events in order to advance the cooperation between Turkey and other countries, as well as business sectors, and to boost the bilateral trade volume. The events bring together high-level representatives, politicians, representatives of the business community, business people, entrepreneurs, academicians, and representatives of civil society organizations from Turkey and other foreign countries. So, and we also help business people from foreign countries to match them with their business sectors in Turkey. So you can think DEİK as a counterpart organization in Turkey. If we try to make an MOE, actually it makes TTCSI members and DEİK members together, so we can match the business sectors who wants to invest to Turkey, or who wants to import, or who wants to export to Turkey. Actually, we are on that side. So, as a short brief, this is what DEİK and what DEİK does, and I am always ready to serve Trinidad Trinidad Tobago people, companies, and TTCSI to give information to help anything else about Turkish trade. So thank you very much again for inviting us to this valuable program. I would like to thank you again, Mr. Mark and Mr. Julian for having us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ishuk, for being here with us today. And I know you'll also be with us for the question and answer section. So I just want to remind attendees that, if you have any questions that you would like to pose to Mr. Ishuk, just hold on a bit. We have one more presentation to go, and then we'll open up the floor and have a nice conversation. All right. On the second presentation now, we would have started with Her Excellency.
Excuse you, if I may just interject, the ambassador is currently experiencing some technical issues, so we can go ahead with the Q&A session now until she connects back.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay, so we would have just heard from the CEO of TTCSI, Vashti Gayadeen, and this is the situation with technology. Things happen. Right, so at this juncture, I want to start us with the Q&A section. I know persons would have, the Q&A section in the Zoom chat has been lighting up already. So, if there are any questions that you would like to pose, I just want to open the floor at this point in time.
Mr. Julian, can I add something? I apologize. As you can get our connection informations from our ambassador also, and we will write to the chat section. This is evening time in Turkey, so we have a meeting in 15 minutes later. So I am really apologize. I have to leave, but Mr. Ayhan is here. He is also our valuable friend, our trade counselor. So if any questions you can ask about DEEC, he can also our representative. So I am really apologize again, and I would like to send my regards to Mr. Mark, other participants. Thank you very much again.
No problem at all.
Thank you. I have a quick question, if it's okay.
Sure, of course.
If we can get an idea of what if there's a lot of migration to Turkey from various countries around the world, in terms of the size of Turkey, the size of the economy, what does it look like in terms of outside? Seeing as you have a very young population, do you have programs in place to actually attract people to move to Turkey to do business?
You're asking to me or Mr. Ayhan?
Whoever wants to take it.
Okay, let's clarify it. You mean the immigration to come to Turkey, how the training program, or how the effect?
No, okay. So basically what I'm asking is, given the opportunities that Turkey has, right? Are you seeing a large immigration into Turkey from people from all over the world?
Yes, of course. We are the most crowded country, one of the most crowded country about the immigration. Almost 10 million people, immigrants, living in Turkey, from Syria, from Iraq, from Afghanistan, from Iran, from many African countries. So extensive training program for them, for integration, for both the barrier of the language, to improve their skills in the production, manufacturing places. Yes, there are many regulation to immigrate to Turkey, but We are welcome for everybody to contribute to the economy.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, are there any other questions? You know, if you have a question that you would like to pose in person, well, using a question to pose, you could always use the raise hand function, and I'll see if we can get you on. Also, if you prefer not to speak, but you prefer to write a question, there's also the Q&A section at the bottom of the toolbar. And you know, we have TTC Mr. Yahan, you know, who's present with us to also answer any questions that you may have. I'm seeing the CEO of TTCSI. Vashti, how are you this morning?
I am good, thanks, Joel.
Yeah.
I just
No
have,
problem.
because I saw one person was asking about the National Services Exporters Portal. And we also have participants from other countries on the portal. And it's important to know, for you all to know, that it's not just Trinidad and Tobago firms that could register on the portal. We have had interest from regional and international firms, and we are now facilitating whereby international firms can register on the portal. This means it will be easier for us to facilitate business-to-business meetings. The portal is working, but like everything else, we need to ensure that the firms that are registered on the portal are registered firms in their respective countries. So there is a validation process. You need to enter the information, enter the respective fields on the portal, submit your certificates of incorporation. It will take us roughly 48 hours to verify and validate that information. And then you will get an email asking you to claim your listing. So it's not an automatic process. We need to follow the guidelines to validate your business. So I saw someone said that the portal is not working. It is working, but it would not you need to follow that process in order to get the benefits. So I hope that clears up the issue about understanding about the portal.
All right, thank you very much, Vashti, for that clarification. I hope that helps some of our attendees in terms of some of the questions that they may have had.
Joel, if I may just interject.
Right, she mentioned, I just want to know in terms of when I look at it, yeah.
Yes, we have someone from the Embassy of Peru who would like to ask a question. Yeah,
so I was just actually going to give the type of people we have with us in the Embassy of Peru. We have from the Venezuelan Embassy. We also have from the German Embassy. So, and apart from that, you know, we will have business persons from Trinidad and Tobago and throughout the region itself. So at this juncture, I just want to highlight the embassy from Peru. You know, I see the hand is raised, and I just want to say the floor is open to you at this time.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes, hearing you clear.
Yes, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Good morning, and thank you very much to the TTCSI for convening this conference. I think it is very important to promote bilateral trade. And thank you very much, Joel, for your effort as a moderation. We have just recently read your article on the paper about the situation here in economic situation in Trinidad, about the bulletin. And thank you to all the experts. You know, I just have a small question. Is there any program which permits the business community to participate with the government in the fight against poverty? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for that question. I don't know who would like to tackle this at this point. Is that something you'd want to tackle?
Sorry, Joel, you broke
excuse
up
me.
there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Right, so I just wanted to thank our friend from Peru, the Embassy of Peru, for his question. I just wanted to know if there's anyone that wanted to tackle the question from our perspective.
Joel, I didn't hear the complete question. Ambassador was breaking up. So if you could repeat it, please.
Okay. From what I understand, now, Ambassador, I don't know if you're on still and you would like to repeat the question, or if you'd like me to give my interpretation of it.
Yes. I was asking whether there is a program for protection or promotion in the fight against poverty to which the business community is contributing, hand in hand with the government. Thank you.
Yeah.
President, would you like to go, or do you want me to? You're muted.
Is the question for us in Trinidad, or is it being posed to Turkey?
I think it is for the experts from Turkey, or if you, Mr. Etchell, can kindly answer that, I will be grateful. Thank you.
Okay, so from a Trinidad and Tobago perspective, we do have our social development ministries, and the private sector businesses do involve themselves in charitable activities and social development activities. I am not familiar with what happens in the Turkey side of it, so I would defer to Mr. Uzturk. Is that how I pronounce your name?
Yes, I will try to answer the question. We have in Turkey, we have a Ministry of Family. In this ministry, we are the ministry try to prevent the poverty, and then try to really reach and touch in every social classes to help them. I don't know this is the answer, but I don't know the Peru embassy asked that question, but if they're asking about the international program, my country works with the United Nations to really prevent poverty, both in Turkey and outside of Turkey. We have many programs in Africa to really prevent poverty. We are trying to help the African poor territories with working with the United Nations, and also there is all other programs in the Ministry of Family. We are trying to every family to help them. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Mark, Vashi, Mr. Istik. All right, so I just want to go across to the Q&A section of the Zoom meeting, and I'm going to try to pull out some of the questions that are there. You know, I may not be able to get all, but I'll try to get into some of the questions that are there. Right, so we have a question from Adlin Holder, and it says, in Mr. Istik's presentation, I saw that Turkey's corporate tax rate was reduced to 20%. Are there any other forms of taxation that may be imposed on the import of services into the country? Mr. Istik? You're muted still, unfortunately.
Sorry, I am looking my notes now. I will give you the about the corporate tax, the numbers. You asked about the numbers, right?
Yes, the question is, They're saying that they see the corporate tax rate was reduced to 20%, but they just want to clarify if there were any other forms of taxation.
25%, yes.
Okay.
Yes, right, 25%. This is corporate tax, yes. In 2022.
If there's any other taxation that they may need to go through.
Excuse me?
Are there any other taxes that would apply?
Yeah, they just want to know if there are any other
Business
taxes that they need to look out for.
In terms of the kind of the companies, we have different companies, different kind of companies in Turkey. For example, capital companies, cooperatives, public economic enterprise owned by association and foundation, and joint ventures. For example, we have some incentive to government doesn't ask to corporate tax, for example, for cooperatives. 0, but capital companies is 25%.
Perfect.
Right, so
I think, Joel, if we can, we will get a link to that particular source of information, and we can share it with the membership and attendees afterwards, if that's okay.
Of course, appreciated. All right, so we have with us the ambassador is back, Ambassador Gooden. Ambassador, presentation that you also give. Are you able to go through at this time?
Yes, I think so. Sorry, I don't know what happened with my laptop. Now I'm connected with my mobile phone. So I'm ready. If we can have the second part of the presentation, I would like to continue. So I would like to speak a little bit about tourism. Tourism is a big sector in Turkey, and in 2022 we earned 46.3 billion USD, and we had an arrival of 51 million tourists in Turkey, some of them being citizens living abroad. But still the numbers are showing that we are catching up with the pre-pandemic times. So in 2021, Turkey was the third most favorite destination, and Turkey is usually among the top 10, so it changes a bit according to the year. But in 21, we were third. And over 1 million people are employed directly in the sector, and again, 1 million indirectly. Together, their share in the employment is around 8%. And the total tourism income represented 3.8% of GDP in 2018. So next one, please. Yes, I just spoke about it. Next one. Yes, so this is a figure to show or to give an idea about the hotels. It's 1.7 1.7 billion bed capacity, and over 17,000 tourism facilities exist. And regarding 5-star hotels, Turkey is among the 12 countries of the world, and most of them being in Istanbul, but also other cities catching up with building 5-star hotels. So next one. And I must say, in parallel with the global trends in tourism, Turkey works to meet the needs of the industry, and its natural and cultural richness helps it to get a bigger share from the global tourism income. So I would also like to say a few words about the contracting and construction services. Turkish contractors have been operating since almost 50 years in foreign countries. and they finalized over 11,700 projects in 133 countries. According to statistics, between 1972 and 2023, April, their projects amount reached 477 billion US dollars. Regarding construction companies, Turkey ranks second after China. In 2021, this is the next slide. In 2021, the revenues of 42 Turkish companies ranked seventh with 20.4 billion US dollars. And on the slide below, you can see in the 1972-2023 period, the share of construction works made. So housing and roads, tunnels, bridges seem to be on the top, followed by power plants, commercial centers, and airports. It is projected that with its high potential, Turkish contracting and engineering consultancy services industry will keep on exponentially climbing its global market share in the following years. Next slide, please. I also would like to speak a few words about the health sector, which has a share of 3% in the GDP. Around 1 million people are employed in this sector. The services offered include medical services, pharmaceuticals, medical equipment. And Turkey has a well-developed health system which offers high-quality medical services at affordable prices. The sector is expected to grow in the coming years. And this also is reflected in health tourism. This sector is also developing rapidly, especially if the attention of people to their own health continues to increase. This will also affect our sector. For now, the Turkish health services are known for their competitiveness and cost effectivity. Experts predict that the demand for plastic surgery, dental services, and organ transplant will continue to increase, and that there will be a significant demand from overseas services. It's getting more and more important to attract more people for health reasons. So not only for operations or difficult tasks, but for spa or for wellness, which should also be considered in this section. And I would also like to say that we had quite a few people from the region, from Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname, Guyana, and others who have been in Turkey for health reasons. And there is also a special kind of visa which is given to patients for who travel for health reasons. So it's a different process which enables the patients to stay longer if necessary. So this has also been taken care of. Next slide, please. So culture and entertainment. No, we have the financial sector, sorry. Banking and finance. This is also an important sector, and it contributes around 6% to the country's GDP, where around 200,000 people are employed. The services offered are financial services like banking, insurance, and investment services. I have one more slide which I could not send to you, and this is about culture and entertainment. I will also pass it to you later. As you know, the Turkish entertainment and culture service industry is getting to be recognized and appreciated more and more, and it's gaining many international awards. The sector is developing rapidly with production and executing companies, media establishment, art galleries, advertising agencies, and international fair organization. Turkish dramas are viewed globally by over 600 million people, and Turkey is now among the leaders in the list of exporting countries regarding films. There is a huge potential of Turkish entertainment and culture services industries. The population working in this area are well educated, and many creative individuals contribute to the sector. The sector is expected to further expand, and that its global share will increase in the near future. According to statistics, in 2021, 650,000 people are working in this sector. So this is roughly what I wanted to present about the sectors. Of course, there are many other sectors, but we cannot present them all. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. You know, there were challenges with the technology, but you overcame those challenges, and we appreciate it. Right?
Sure.
And it's a very, very detailed presentation. Thank you for helping us address some of the concerns that we'll also see. Right, so as we continue the Q&A section, I just want to go to the Q&A chat. I know that is part of the Zoom platform. And this question is from John Lewis. And Mr. Lewis says, Mr. Lewis is an ICT digital transformation consultant with project management skills. So his question really is, what opportunities are there for remote work in the areas of project management, software development, and content creation? And that question, we'll put it across to our friends from Türkiye. Are there any remote work opportunities in terms of project management, software development, and content creation?
Ambassador, I can answer this question.
Okay.
There is no government program about it, but there is many companies in Turkey working on the content creation, and then creating technology, and then dealing with the technology. If the questionnaire interesting to make some connection with them, we can work on it.
All right, very nice. Thank you very much, Mr. Izzy. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, so I'm heading back across to the Q&A chat section just to see if I can get any other questions, because there are a lot of questions here. Let me see what I can pull out. Right. So we have this question from Rion Smith, and his question for the panel is, does Turkey have any platforms? Sorry about that technology, the question just slipped. Right. Does Turkey have any platforms where Trinidadians and Tobagonians can search for foreign investment grants? Are there any grants available for foreign? Mr. Isig, you're on mute, unfortunately.
Yes. Mr. Joel, there is different kind of the grants for specific project, for regions, for different products are available in Turkey. Actually, I try to answer that question. You can check invest INVEST gov.tr. I can type it here also. Invest. You can look at that and then you see the all kind of the grants in that website. Invest gov.tr.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you. Right.
You're welcome.
So back onto the chat. There's this question from Avanel Sahadio. Avanel, I just lost your question. Right. Avanel says, I've seen preventative healthcare insurance providers, nutraceuticals, etc., and not just traditional health insurance companies emerging. Is this something that Türkiye is investing?
Last 20 years, actually, let me explain like that. We have a governmental social institution for everybody, both for health and then insurance together. But there is private sector also in Turkey. They are working on and then investing for this sector. And then yes, big we can say like a big three companies, especially working with the bank. They are making the insurance, health insurance. If there is the question, yes, I try to answer. There are so last 20 years there are a lot of investment, and then we have three big companies about the health insurance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sek. All right, so as I mentioned before, we, apart from it being a packed audience of participants that we have in the Zoom chat, we have some very high quality attendees. And one of those attendees today is the Venezuelan ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Alvaro Sanchez. And I just wanted to give the ambassador an opportunity if you wanted to speak to us, ambassador. But I know the ambassador has also been in the chat section, and the ambassador has been giving us some information that I think is pertinent for all of us. So one of those things that has been said so far is that the ambassador says that Turkish Airlines currently fly directly into Caracas, Venezuela. So you have flights from Turkish Airlines into Caracas, Venezuela. And as you all would have known, or even as I'm saying now, Trinidad and Tobago now has direct flights to Caracas from Caribbean Airlines. So the ambassador is just highlighting the opportunities in terms of connection between Turkey and Trinidad and Tobago. So we have Turkish Airlines flying directly into Caracas. We have Caribbean Airlines flying directly into Caracas. There are ways that we can reach there. But ambassador, I just want to open the floor to you if there's anything that you would like to tell us also.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning again. I would like to greet my friend from the Venezuelan embassy, and I'm really very happy that now we have flights from Trinidad and Tobago to Caracas. And yes, indeed, Turkish Airlines has been flying to Caracas since years now, and even the number has increased. So this is another option to go to Turkey, or even from there to connect to Europe or to Central Asia or to African countries. So this might also be useful for Trinidad and Tobago citizens, and I'm very happy that CAL could start this route with Caracas.
Yes, definitely. Ambassador Sanchez, is there anything that you would like to add also? Any contributions? And pleasant good morning, Ambassador.
Hi, good morning to everyone. I would like to especially thank Ambassador Bengu for such a brilliant contribution, for this outstanding opportunity to listen to you, Ambassador, and all the wonderful and expert panelists on everything you need to know about this wonderful and brilliant country, brother country, sister country as Turkey. So we thank you very much for such a comprehensive, important presentation. What I wanted to say, which I wrote on the chat, the ambassador and also Joel have already stated, so I can only underscore and further emphasize, yes, that there are now direct flights between Trinidad and Tobago and Caracas by Caribbean Airlines. In the future, in the near future, there may be other airline carriers also connecting Trinidad and Tobago and Caracas, and also more frequent flights as well. This will give opportunities to people like Joel, who at the beginning said that was keen to go to Turkey. So that way you could easily fly in less than 2 hours. You can be in Caracas on Caribbean Airlines and then catch the Turkish Airways directly, non-stop to beautiful Turkey. And at the same time, if you have some time, you can stay in Venezuela for a few days and enjoy Venezuela too. So I think it's a square deal for everyone. So that's all I wanted to just mention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you for spending this morning with us. Really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the information that you would have also shared with us that is pertinent to what we're doing here this morning. And also grateful for the opportunity for Caribbean Airlines also now going directly to Caracas, which is always a beautiful vacation destination or a destination for business opportunities also. Right. So I just want to go to one other question that I saw in the chat. This question is from Keston Duke. And Mr. Duke asks, what opportunities are there in Turkey, for real estate and aggregate suppliers? So that is a question for you, Mr. Ozak. Is there anything that you can tell us with respect to that?
Of course, I can give an example. Turkey government allowing for foreigners to come to Turkey to get the property. 10 years ago, it was impossible. Now, nowadays, it's possible for foreigner to come to Turkey to buy lands and then any properties. So there is big opportunities, especially in the south of Turkey, because that part of Turkey is like a touristic areas. The big cities like Istanbul and Izmir also another opportunities for the real estate. Again, if somebody interested about to look at the business opportunities in real estate in Turkey, there is a lot of company, and then as a commercial counselor, every time we can help them to get connect, to discuss, to create business opportunities together. Thank you.
No problem. Right, so I know we have reached noon, which was supposed to be our cutoff time. So I just want to give a couple of minutes again in terms of the questions and answer section before we start. Yes, Mark.
All right, Joel, I just wanna bring up one of the questions that was asked that I think is relevant. Deacon Walcott posed a question that the CEO indicated that she will get back to him with the details, but I think it's relevant for everyone on this session this morning and of value. The question is, we have been exploring joint services with companies in Turkey. How can we verify that the companies are valid or that the companies are of good reputation? Do you have any mechanisms or like a Chamber of Commerce or Better Business Bureau, anything like that that can validate and verify people that you are connecting with to listen to?
Right. We have a excuse me. We have the union of the Chamber of Commerce based in Ankara. We keep record all the companies at that union, and then it's online. Everybody can search about it to see it is legitimate, and then see all the info about the company. Who is the owner? What is the address? The connection number, and then even the capital can be seen in the online publication.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Very pertinent information. Thank you very much, Mr. Izzy. Thank you very much for highlighting the question, Mark.
Could I also say a few words about that?
Of course, Ambassador.
Thank you. Thank you. We often heard questions from Trinidad and Tobago and from countries around, and I think it's very important, especially since we are getting to know each other better now, to find good partners. So please, before sending money or making any other arrangements, please contact us to be sure of the validity and legitimacy of the companies you are going to deal with.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for highlighting the concern, and thank you very much for addressing it, Ambassador Mr. Isaac. All right. We have a question from Russell Boodoo. He's asking, if he's doing business with a new supplier in Turkey, is there a financial body that can hold the funds until products are shipped to ensure financial security for TNT companies?
Is there any financial institution to support or give loan?
He's asking, like, so two companies, a company from Trinidad and Tobago, a company from Turkey, have partnered. It's a new company,
Yes.
a new supplier in Turkey. So he just wants to know if there's like a company that will hold like the funding to ensure that to ensure financial security for the companies.
Joel, I think I could probably respond to that.
It is banking issue. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand the question.
Yeah.
It is banking issue. We be talking with the bank, and then to agreement it will be in the bank. So the both party will talk with the bank, and then the bank figure out the situation.
Joel, what we normally do in situations like that is you operate with a letter of credit, so that the bank guarantees payment to the supplier when verification of delivery is confirmed. So it's not someone in Turkey that can hold the funds or a company that holds the funds on their behalf. You handle that from your banker in your own jurisdiction, and once the supplier agrees to those terms and conditions, you can establish a letter of credit which guarantees the funds that are due to them once the goods arrive and can be confirmed for that they have been delivered.
All right. Just one final question I'd like to ask. I see it was raised on the banking situation. Question is asked about the SWIFT code. Is the SWIFT code be utilized, or is there some other alternative that is utilized in terms of the transfer of funding?
About SWIFT?
Yeah,
all Turkish bank working the Swiss, and then no other system. So they are all integrated with the Swiss system. To Turkey or from Turkey, you can send money for every part of the world, every country in the world, in the Swiss system. All the Turkish, like 100 Turkish bank operating in Turkey, all of them is integrated with the SWIFT system.
SWIFT. All right. Thank you. All right. So I just saw a question coming from Select Fit Shapewear. The Select Fit Shapewear said they would have ordered some product from Istanbul before, and they would have done the funding through a wire transfer. However, they felt that the cost to shipping was very high. So they just wanted to know if there was a possibly an easier way to ship between Trinidad and Tobago and Turkey, other than DHL.
Really difficult question, because Caribbean is really far from the Turkey, all the Caribbean area. The fastest route and the cheapest route is the Miami and Turkey. So maybe it could be solved that from Trinidad Tobago, maybe the product come to Miami, and then Miami to Trinidad Tobago. Maybe it be solved like that, or the other destination, Panama. The Panama also. Panama and Miami is cheapest route for the Caribbean.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stick. All right. So
Joel, just to touch on that as well, apologies.
Right.
The fact
Sure.
that there are flights, they said they use DHL, but the fact that there are flights from Turkey to Venezuela and Venezuela to Trinidad, that is an option that a freight forwarder that they can engage will be able to facilitate for them. So instead of DHL or FedEx or those high cost like overnight shipping services, you can do air freight services from those jurisdictions, but you'll have to do it through a freight forwarder and a shipping company in Trinidad and Tobago to help facilitate.
Thank you, Mark.
Of course,
right.
With these activities we're doing here, we're hoping that we can develop direct flights with Turkey as well.
Right.
And better trade routes. So we started those discussions. So we need to make some stuff happen.
Sure.
Right.
Definitely. Right. Ambassador, there's something that you wanted to say?
No, I'm just saying yes to Mr. Etchell. We should work on this. It would be nice if we have some direct flights. Yeah.
All right, nice. All right, so we're looking to wrap up. Vashti, is there anything that you wanted to say before we start to tie up the ends?
Sure. Joel, I normally leave this up to you. So I will just start it and you will conclude. There's an interesting aspect to all of this whereby you all could connect, and that's through cuisine. So this is the first time that we are doing this series that is doing business with the world, covering 28 plus countries. We are also giving each country the opportunity to feature their cuisine, culture, and entertainment. Next year, when we will build it out stronger and better. So Ambassador will be hosting something bigger and better next year. And Joel, I am sure, will be able to give you all some insights into some Turkish delights.
Yeah, Turkish baklava, you know.
It really sounds good, and then I want also be there at that event.
And don't forget how important coffee is.
Yeah.
Ambassador, you need to educate them, let them know how important the Turkish coffee is.
Oh yes, definitely. We should organize a coffee day as well.
Yeah. Well, I just wanna add to that. So in preparation for this, I was looking at some of the Turkish proverbs, and they say there's actually a Turkish proverb that says that 1 cup of coffee commits one to 40 years of friendship. So when it is we actually have that culinary event, if 1 cup of coffee committed us to 40 years of friendship, we could really build partnership together and build something really strong, and which I think is what we are all striving to do in our conversation today. Really build that partnership between Tobago and Turkey. And we're seeing the pieces coming together, because even the flight, the direct connection from Turkey to Caracas, and then Trinidad and Tobago to Caracas, could really help us build that friendship. And I'm sure when we get that cuisine and that aspect of it coming together, it will really build 40 plus years of friendship over coffee and other delicacies that Turkey presents. Yeah.
Yes, that would be ideal.
Ideal. Right. So now, in today's webinar, we would have heard from Mr. Istek. We would have heard from her beautiful presentations. We would have heard from Her Excellency herself. And I really want to thank each and every one of them for being part of this, and everyone who has been a part of it. And there are people who do the heavy lifting to ensure that even though we have issues, these technical issues that may arise, to bring us to the point where we could all come together. And one of those people that has helped us get to this point is Diana from the TTCSI team. So I just want to know to turn over to Diana, for her final remarks, her closing remarks.
Thank you, Joel. Good day, everyone. So I'm unable to put on my camera this moment, so please bear with me. So as we come to the end of today's webinar, Doing Business with Türkiye, I think we can all agree that this has been an informative presentation, well coordinated by Her Excellency Ambassador Bengu Igudin and our speakers. I think the Ambassador of Venezuela summed it up accurately. It was a brilliant presentation. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for collaborating with us and successfully executing this webinar. I would like to say a special thank you to Mr. Ayan Ustuk, Commercial Counselor in Havana. Thank you to Mr. Mustafa Nakati Ishik. And I would just like to highlight to everyone that our speakers who have joined us from Turkey today, Turkey is 7 hours ahead. So it's about 7 p.m. right now in Turkey. So we are ever grateful that everyone took the time off our speakers to share insights with us. I would also like to thank Mr. Nusret Kamut, who really wanted to be here live with us, but could not. And instead, he pre-recorded a video for us. So we are very grateful for that presentation. Thank you to our president of the TTCSI, Mr. Mark Edgell, for his contribution and time with us. Also, thank you to my CEO, Ms. Gayadeen, who continues to work assiduously for the services sector and in this series. And last but not least, thank you to all participants who attended and engaged us with your questions today. In closing, let us carry the spirit of collaboration, innovation, and cultural understanding that we have cultivated here into our future business endeavors. Together, let us embark on a journey of shared prosperity where the bonds between Trinidad and Tobago and Turkey grow stronger with each day. And again, I would like to emphasize to all businesses and companies who joined us today, I strongly recommend that you register on our National Services Exporters portal. And also we are giving you the opportunity to join the TTCSI as an affiliate member. There's much more benefits for you by becoming a member of TTCSI. Feel free to reach out to us and contact us